Now, when you say kiting around, for those that aren't familiar with that, where do you tend to go? Like, where's the first place you think you can go to start practicing that? And not necessarily doing all 4 mobs, but maybe something that you can kind of ease yourself into.
OT is
South
amazing.
Carolina.
Once I hit like 34, once I got that quad spell, I was loving over there. I got to level 40 really fast. It's a little tricky because there's so many mobs and they're just going all over the place, but if you're careful, you can just start on those cacti guys there, and they're really, really good. Really great EXP actually per quad, and they're really good to learn on because they don't really do that much damage. They're really slow when they're snared, and if you get just cacti, which there's a ton of cacti, so it's not that hard to just get cacti, but if you just get them, they don't assist any other cacti, so it's
So they're not
really
social.
nice. Yeah, you could just pull those and then you can quad them all over the place, as long as you avoid other mobs.
Nice. I didn't know that. And the money is pretty good, or no?
Actually, it is pretty good. I think, like, I've seen a lot of like people quadding and videos of people quadding, and they just don't like loot anything. But like the cacti drop stuff, where like you could get like they have this sap they drop, and like a stack of that sells for like 6 or 7 plat, but they drop so much of it that you'll get stacks and stacks and stacks of it.
Yeah, especially if you're quadding, you're doing 4 at a time, so.
Yeah, if you go to the bank in Rivervale, you'll see tons of that sap because the druids that know just pour it over to Misty, sell your sap, go back, keep quadding. Make some good money.
And Cypher, I think you were saying the Karanas?
Yeah, I did South Carolina at the Spires on my wizard. Depending on the time of day, you can get all 4 of the Spires, or all 3 plus the second. But I did that to the 42. Swarm kiting or not swarm kiting, but quad kiting gets you through hell levels really fast.
Now, yours is a little different because as a wizard, you don't technically get a Spirit of Wolf, so you have to have the J-Boots, right?
Yeah, I had the J-Boots before I hit 34, which is when I got my quad kite spell.
Or I guess you could go with pots. You could go with the Spirit of Wolf pot that costs about 10 platinum per cast. So that's definitely within price range.
Yeah.
Yours is also a little trickier too. Now, did you go and do the area effect root spell that you guys get to, or not roots, snare spell?
No.
Oh, so you left
Not
it
for me.
unsnared then?
Yeah, I did the full-on sprint fighting.
I hear that's kind of common for wizards, is like just not to bother with snaring, and like I don't know how I could do it. It's just like,
now that I'm level 50, now that I'm level 53, I actually use that new snare because it's only
half what mana?
and it is barely. So it's did I?
You're breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, you turned into a robot there for a second. Yeah, the problem I always had with the snare spell as a wizard is the radius that it cast on is so small. And you got to let those mobs really get right up on top of you. And you're a wizard, you're a paper caster. You're really just going to get beat up.
Speaking of wizards, I think this is our wizard right here.
Oh, is it? She was going to go get them at the docks, but maybe they're here.
She's a wizard. And she's healing. So I guess she's it.
Terminator is what the Muppets shovels. Just kill it before it spreads. You sound fine now, by the way, Cypher. It's just only lasted for a few seconds. Now, how long did it take you with your...
Where are you at? Alright.
Where
are you guys at?
We're at Derv 2. Why'd you guys finish?
We don't have room now.
Yeah, we just filled up the last spot. I thought you were going to be another, like, 30, 40 minutes. I'm sure somebody here will leave one of these guys. Not the guys that are on the Skype call, but we have 2 extras with us, so might get you in here in a few. But how long did it take you before you got really, really good at doing the quad kiting as a wizard? I imagine you probably died a number of times before you got the hang of it.
No, I did pretty well straight off the bat.
Really? So you just kind of jumped into it. It wasn't as hard as... Did you think it was going to be bad? Or did you just kind of like, oh, no, I can do that?
The only time I really died from it starting out was whenever I tried to use snare.
Well, I can't blame you on that one. Like I said, you got to get really, really close. So after that death, you were just like, I'm never going to use that spell again. Let's see what we could do.
Yeah.
Yeah, personally, I was really terrified of trying quadding the first time I did it. It seemed really like things could go wrong. I think it's scary thinking that you're gonna have to deal with all these mobs. And also, the video I watched on it was talking about how you have to pack them super, super, super tight, and you have to go around and around and around in circles on them forever to get them like perfect. But like, you really don't. As long as they're like pretty close in there, they're fine. So you could actually get a quad. Like once you get all 4 mobs snared, you could get them getting to damage within like 15 seconds. Just go around them a couple times and they're good. At least that's the case for me. And it's not really like bard kiting, I think, where one little mistake and you're pretty much dead, because I get stunned on the regular, but at worst I'll usually come out with like half health, and it's not a big deal. So yeah, it's 4 mobs is doable. It's really not as scary as I thought it would be after all.
Well, and druids, you guys actually take damage a little bit better than you might actually think. As a leather wearer, you feel like you're a little vulnerable at times, but you guys are pretty good. As you get higher and higher level, you seem to take less and less damage as well.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Now, do you find that you always have all your buffs up, or do you get a little bit lazy when you're doing the quad
I
kiting?
almost never put any buffs on. Like, you should, if you really want to survive. But I think I've gotten you just get good enough at it that you feel like you don't need them after a while.
Right. Now, if you were going to put buffs on, which ones would you guys recommend doing? I mean, obviously, Spirit of Wolf is one that you probably always have up.
If I were to put them on, we have our Thorncoat line of spells, which it gives a lot of AC and a damage spell, skin buff. That's probably the most important things. Regen, if you're really scared when you're first starting out, I would definitely put regen on, because if you do get hit, you could just run off and regen health while they're kind of at a distance.
And an evac spell, or you don't even bother with that anymore?
I do sometimes, actually, because egress, I actually usually have that one on. It's kind of takes a lot of mana. It's like 500 mana or something, but it's a 5-second cast, so it's actually pretty good. And it'll just take you, in the zone. So,
and that clears...
I'm usually bound at like really key places, like right outside TOV or something like that. So I can't really use gate a lot of the time unless I want to run back to where I'm doing my camp, which isn't that hard as a druid. But egress, I like using egress a lot.
And that clears your aggro, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know there's a trick in raids for some of you guys out there, you're probably very aware of it, where they'll have somebody pull, and they'll have a corpse laying next to where everybody's at, and right before that arrow lands, they do the res, and it causes the aggro to still be there after they take that res. So they get pulled all the way back to the group. The mob, especially in Sky, will run all the way back down there to the group and come pretty much solo, which is pretty amazing. You can pull a higher level islands all the way to Island 1 by doing something like that. But res will also clear your aggro, I believe so.
Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't actually been in that rotation when they do it, but seeing the people who do it, it's fairly cool. I mean, it's monks and clerics that are sitting there doing that one.
Yeah, to be honest, in Sky, when I was on my monk, I kind of avoided doing that. It's just like kind of really intimidating. It's kind of a complicated pull tactic, but so there's usually like a few monks who are like do it every single time, and it's like second nature to them. So I mean, there's so many different ways to pull, so many different pull tactics, and that's just one of them I've kind of avoided.
Right.
Just because it's touchy. It's really touchy. You gotta really get the res pull just right.
Yeah, because I think it's down to like a millisecond right before your arrow lands, and you gotta have a good connection and everything else. But I mean, some of the other pulls that you guys do, especially as monks go, can be just as tricky. When you're talking about Kale, I've seen those 3-4 man pull teams, and all of you guys have to be working together to get that thing split up just the way you want it.
Yeah, I really enjoy pulling in Kale. I've had the honor of helping to pull Bindi a couple times, and that one's pretty cool and pretty tricky because you really have to figure out how to split off his little pet guards that are on him, and I really like pulling Kale.
Yeah, I can't wait to give that one a shot. I have seen things go very, very wrong really quickly, but you know, it just sounds like fun. Even if you die. I haven't played my monk in a long time. I've kind of parked him for a while. I use him to PL people once in a while and farm some stuff, but I haven't really raided with him in a while. But so when we've been doing halls of testing a bit and Kale, and I just get the itch to pull, so I'll go out there on my druid. I'll pull some stuff. I pulled a Drake in halls of testing on my druid twice. I actually did it Monday. I pulled a Drake just because I felt like I just ran out there and pulled one. I think our monk was AFK for a little bit, so I was like, I'm gonna go pull something. And the other week we were competing against AM, and they were pulling stuff on our side. It was really rude. Like, they were pulling stuff right where we were. So I ran out there and I pulled something right from their camp on my druid. I sent their monkatel like, so that those Holgrush Elder beads pretty expensive, right? And I was just trying to tease them about how I was pulling on my druid. Yeah, I mean, I think druids are one of the few classes. Oh, hey, Pat's Fan, how you doing, man? Welcome to the stream tonight. We're hanging out over in North Row Derv Camp at level 10s through 15s. Cypher Deck is going to be joining us here very soon, so we're going to have like the whole crew with us. We got Terra here, we got Memo, and I think Nodal might be coming on tonight. Chupa's in the call, but he's not talking at the moment. I think he's AFK. And we were discussing some of the different classes. We started off with healers, and we've kind of moved on to some of the pulling classes. And I think that's kind of a unique thing that you guys have for your druids, is that when you do get bored, you can kind of kick into the other gear and be like, okay, instead of healing, I'm going to be doing DPS. Instead of DPS, I can do a little bit of pulling. I do have Harmony and some of these other spells that allow me to do that. As a cleric, though, you know, I've never felt they were suited for anything else other than healing. But I know Cypher, he kind of disagrees with me on that one.
I do. I feel you can pull just as easily as an enchanter if you do it correctly.
Now talk us through a little bit about what
Actually,
what is required to do it correctly, because I'm guessing a high charisma is one of the things on the list, right?
Charisma is one. Also, I feel Wake of Tranquility works better than if you have a lot of mobs that you have to deal with. And then I stopped using Pacify and I started using Calm just because it's less mana, and I usually have about 120 charisma whenever I'm soloing, so it allows me to be able to pull a whole lot easier.
Now, I don't have a problem with clerics pooling. I think they can do it, especially if they have a high enough charisma. I don't really see clerics doing the warrior cleric, you know, being the tank, being the killer. But you've done that in certain zones, especially undead zones. You're going there all by yourself, and you're just, you know, you're going to kick butt because you have all those undead spells. But even with the mana efficiency of those, I still find that I make more experience in a group than I do solo. Do you find that to be the case? Because with my monk, I made more experience solo than I ever did in a group. So you find you can make more experience soloing?
Oh, yeah.
Now, is that only in undead zones, or have you tried your hand at going to places that may not be as suited for you as possible?
Yeah, you make more experience in a group just because of the fact that you can kill faster. No, in a group.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've soloed other places just because undead spell the same damage as our current DD.
Yeah, but the current direct damage spell you get at higher levels is super inefficient. Like it will take up more mana than my C heal does. So that's why I usually don't tend to use that pretty much ever, but
yeah.
Pat's fan says Rogue is the funnest class I've played, and Mage from when I played on live. Would you guys agree? I mean, I know, Cypher, you have a high-level Rogue. I think Chupa does too, doesn't he? Or has he not leveled that guy up?
I was just playing my Rogue right before I joined you guys.
How do you feel about that guy so far? I mean, are you enjoying him, or?
I feel like I'm more excited about his gear and improving him than I am any other character. Like, I think it's the high damage thing. It's just so exciting. I actually have a Gina thing so that it displays my backstabs right above my my tune on the screen, and it's just really fun to see those big numbers. And I mean, as a monk, you're a DPS. You're usually pretty good DPS, especially if you're really good, if you have really good gear. But you never really see, you know, big numbers or anything like that. There's not a whole lot of excitement that happens, and
yeah, I guess. I mean,
it's just cool watching the mob burn down as a rogue.
You do got a lot of small numbers, but you got a lot of them as a monk. So you're doing the damage, but yeah, you're right. You never get that backstab for 500, 1,000, or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Now, it sounds like they're pretty dependent on gear, though.
Yeah, I mean, once you get the epic, that's kind of... that's definitely my goal for him, because your main hand is really dependent on the damage. So 15 damage on the epic is pretty amazing. It's just like this quest to like get the biggest numbers you can, more strength, higher damage.
Now,
and you can see it like every level you go up, like you get a new benchmark of what's the best backstab you could do. I don't know. I for some reason I'm really enjoying that.
I mean, that's pretty cool. That's very unique to certain classes. Wizards might kind of be in there too, but you get resisted a lot with spells. I know, Cypher, you're kind of enjoying another aspect of the rogue, which is the ability to sneak and hide. Like, you've been going through zones and doing walkthroughs because you can just kind of walk through the zone.
Yeah, it's pretty fun, and I'm working on a faction to do VP now.
Do you find... Oh, you're going to do a walkthrough for VP? Can you do that? Or are those guys going to attack you?
No, you have to just kill a miss more to get the faction for VP dragons.
Well, Mistmore shouldn't be too bad, especially if you go there late at night when nobody's there. You should be able to go inside and kind of own that castle.
Yeah. Well, I go into areas that people aren't killing.
A Mind Monk says, if you have access to a Fungi COF and a PWC, you can solo to 50, no problem. On a Cleric, just go to Guck and never leave. You know, as with a Fungi, you can pretty much solo on any character for quite some time. It is an amazing item to get, which would explain why it's, you know... What's it going for now? 50k still, or is it a little higher?
I think I think it's still probably around 45, to be honest. I think people are advertising it a little higher, but I think it's still sitting around where it's always been.
Well, 45k is pretty good. When I first started on the server, it was in the 70s, I believe. So it's come down a little bit in price. But because it is so amazing on all your alts, and some tunes kind of need it, you know, a monk. Would you recommend having that on your monk, or is this an item that you kind of switch on and off when you need it?
I mean, it's just so fun having it at lower levels on a monk. I mean, it makes it, like, all classes, like you say, really can use it. But like a monk, it's so fun leveling with a fungi on a monk.
But when you get higher levels?
Higher levels, it gets a little less useful. You pretty much just throw it on, like, it's actually still really important. You throw it on whenever you need to recover, like you get hit while you're pulling and you FD. If you're a human monk, you should probably just delete it, in my opinion, because it's terrible. Like, my Ixar already has a fungi naturally, basically, because of his regen. But you throw the fungi on top of that, when you're FD, you can recover really, really fast. And I think any good monk has to have that at raid level. But that's pretty much all it's really useful for. Like, if you're soloing, you're not getting that much HP out of a fight from that. There are better ways to, like those potions I gave the other night. I mean, that'll give you just as much HP per solo fight as the fungi would. So it's not as useful soloing at high level as a monk. But I think it is important to have in the backpack if you're gonna, like, be a monk main.
Right. And there's a lot of utility items depending on the class that you're playing. I have seen a few rogues use that item from time to time. They tend to throw it on if they get hit by an area effect or something, so they don't cost the healer any mana to
I definitely wish I had one on my rogue. I felt that when I was grouping with my rogue earlier, and I was just like, I felt bad, like, when an evade fails. You know, you get too strong of a backstab, and you're getting hit, and you're turning off attack, but the mob isn't getting off of you, and you're just like, you feel bad, because it's like, the healer is going to have to use a ton of mana just for me, and it's like, I just want to tell him, just let me get hit, I'll recover.
Well, you know, it doesn't happen too often, or at least it, you know, it usually doesn't in most groups.
There are times when just you get a bad dice roll on your evade, and it just fails and fails and fails. It's just like,
because there's been instances where I've had rogues in my group, especially in Seb at higher levels, where I forget that they're there. I mean, obviously they're doing a lot of damage, they're participating in the fights, but because I'm a cleric, I never really have to deal with them. You know, they're hidden in the background, and they're doing such a fantastic job with managing their hate that they just never get hit. But those area effect ones, you know, especially with the wizards, they can wreck people's faces very, very quickly. And that's something Cypher's dealing with right now, is he kind of wants to take his rogue over to TOV, but because he's not level 55 yet, and, you know, the magic resist and everything else you need while you're there is really, really important, he hasn't really been able to do that yet, so.
Well, it's not the magic resist, because I go in with 150 magic resist. It's just that holes of testing, and you open that door and you just walk right in front of the door, you're going to get hit by an AoE. It doesn't matter what you do, you're going to get hit by that AoE that those worms and drakes and everything are doing. So you have to have those resistances, and even with my it's better just to 55.
Sorry, guys, he's turning into a robot. Somebody wrote in there, is that dude's mic in his bottom? He has internet issues from time to time. Most of the time, you won't have any issues. He sounds fine, and it's just every once in a while that robotic. And he was built by Bill Gates too, so you know.
Yep.
But no, I get what you're saying though. Is for Cypher. Yeah, I get what you're saying though. Is with the level wise, and you're gonna get hit. But do you feel like having more regrowth would, I don't know, give you access to more zones? Maybe not TOV in general, but to other places?
Well, I can go everywhere except for TOV.
Oh, okay. So then you don't have any issues with it.
Yeah.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Hey, Tellin, how you doing, man? Just chilling over here in North Row. Figured we'd try a camp. Actually, this was Terrafina's idea. She kind of likes this zone, I think. And Dervs is something that I did way back in the day. Kind of brings back those memories. I think most of you guys did it too. I know Cypher has. We talked about this earlier.
Has anybody been looting the rings? You can get EXP off of those, can't you?
Yeah, you can turn them in 2 zones away.
I'm loading them.
I thought there's a guy in here that you can turn them into, isn't it?
Is there?
No, it's in South Row.
Oh, okay. Yeah, oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, and they're not really bad. Oh, they're sucky rings, to be honest. But they're pretty good if you don't have any rings at all. Which, you know, I was really excited to get these when I was in the Commons. If I can click on it, I'll show you guys. 1 AC, 2 Dexterity. And, you know, you can find pretty much a full outfit to wear, including weapons, off of skeletons. You know, it's cloth, it's not great, but you can find a pretty full outfit of it, from shoes to, you know, breastplate to helmet. You won't find any rings off of those guys. These are one of the few characters that actually drop rings. There's not a lot in the game that do. Do you guys have a better spot that people can go to kind of like augment and fill out those spots that they might be missing? Belts or kind of things that don't drop too often. Earrings for sure, or something that you might not even find until you get to a much higher level.
There's some fairly decent low-level quests, like the one I always do for any priest class is the one in High Pass. That one's really good.
The one in High Pass.
The Testament of Veneers, that one.
I don't think I've ever done that one. What do you need for that?
You just need to kill this guy, and then you got to travel over to Quanos. It's kind of a long travel quest, but it's worth it. I think I had that on my druid from like level 15 to like level 45 or so. Maybe even to level 50 I had it.
It's not easy to get replacements for some of those.
Yeah, I eventually replaced it with something from Plain as Sky.
Especially like a cloak.
So, just so you know, I'm going AFK in a minute.
Okay, you should be good. Let's see, what are people saying? Depends on the day. 42, I think a Mind Monk was talking about the fungi. Is that dude's mic in his bottom as part of the P99 experience? For sure. P99, the experience changes for each individual person, especially depending on how you feel like playing the game. You know, for those of you who have not seen his videos, Super Bits and Bob is an amazing shaman, and he's not too bad at an enchanter. I like those videos of him doing those. He likes to solo a lot, and I never really got into that aspect too much. So his experience with the game is vastly different from mine. I tend to do more grouping and raiding. And then there's people out there that don't do any raiding. They're just never going to get into that. It's not really their cup of tea. So for sure, this is one of those games that you can tailor to your particular style of gameplay. And that's part of the beauty of a game like this. There's not a lot of first-person games or single-player games that you can play the way you want to. Now that's becoming more of a thing with the modern games, you know, like Assassin's Creed and things of that sort. But it was pretty rare back in the day. This is the only one that comes to mind that lets you do that. Is that something that brought you guys to the game? Something that kind of enticed you in here? Or was it just the fact that, you know, it's a fantasy game, it's an RPG, and you guys were kind of already into that stuff?
Yeah, I think the fantasy side of it was really good. I was pretty young when I first started playing this game, and like I was, you know, really into like Lord of the Rings, and I just started reading those, and it really, when you first start playing this game, it's the lore, it's so deep. It's such a good game. So I'm still trying to keep it like that. I'm still trying to like explore places I've never been. I think, you know, the best example is Craddock, the Michael Shenanigans, his videos where he's going like really deep into the lore. I think like if you're ever getting burnt out, I think it's probably because people are like focusing too much on just like
one thing.
Yeah, pixels or like leveling. Like for me, honestly, getting to level 60 is probably the thing I'm least interested in doing. I felt like earlier on when I was on P9, I was like, oh, I gotta really level up. Like I felt like that was my goal, but then like as I'm going further on, I'm like, that's kind of like the opposite of what I want to do. Actually, I mean, I kind of want to do it just to be helpful to like my guild and that kind of thing, but like I feel like
you almost want to slow down and enjoy the journey there.
Yeah, and getting to 60, I feel like, to be honest, I'm so less interested in pixels and stuff. Every time I go out and level, that's the fun part to me.
You're right.
Grouping and like, I feel like I'm afraid that I'll get burnt out once I get to 60.
Yeah, that does happen.
Not to.
I was talking to Super Bits and Bob about this, and he felt with his class as Shaman that when he got to 60, that's when the game really came alive for him. That's when he was able to go to all the places he wanted to go and do all the things that he really wanted to do. As a Cleric, though, for me, I felt once I got to 60, the game got a little smaller. Not to say like I was really determined to just level and that's all I cared about, but just having it in the background. You know, you hear other people that are like, oh, ding, and you get excited about that, right? You hear that noise,
yeah,
and it makes you feel good, and you're like, oh, what did I get this time, right? Well, what spells have I gotten? When you don't have that anymore, you kind of miss it. Ah, there's flip sides right there.
I think what my goal is to have like pretty much one of every class in the 50s, like the low 50s. I think I'll be able to enjoy this game for a long time if I do that.
Well, and not just the 50s though, because as we've made our alts, and we do have a little bit of a case of like altitis, because I have pretty much every tune that you can have except for an enchanter. The cool thing about that though is if you're not in a rush and you got a group of friends that you can go with, that's kind of the key though, is that you got a group of friends that you can go with. You can go to these off the road zones that really people avoid or just don't go to as often, and you can explore these places. And there's so many zones, even after what 2.5-3 years of playing this game, after coming back onto P99, we still have yet to go to. You know, we've kind of touched base on a few of them, gone into the zone, checked it out a little bit, you know, spent maybe an hour there, but you know, you can go into Lower Guck or Seb and spend weeks or days, and then out of the blue decide to go a little deeper and find out a whole nother section of the zone you never really got to see before. So, you know, an hour is not enough time to really get a feel for a zone, even if you're running through it and just kind of seeing where the mobs are, until you actually pull those mobs and feel what it's like to get too many and have a group kind of either overreact or just like spot on, you know, go to the rescue and save your life, and you're just like, oh man, I don't ever want to pull that guy again, but it was kind of fun at the same time. Like that's when the zone, you start to learn it and become part of it.
I'm gonna cry.
I've been so easily forgotten and replaced. Hey man, welcome back. got a group going over in North Row. Cypher is looking for a partner at the moment. If you want to come over here and join him, you guys can get a little bit of experience on the side until we get space for you.
Find a lady.
Yeah. Maybe you got a character that's a lady. I'm not judging, man. I'm not judging. Everybody teach their own, man.
Not yet. Cypher, what do you got over there?
54 rogue.
Well, obviously, I see flip sides.
I have a level 11 monk, a level 10 druid, a level 10 warrior.
Druid? How enthused are you about your druid?
I would like to level it up, but I absolutely hate leveling my druid.
Because you haven't done it right.
No, it's just because I'm... Hell no.
It's a good
Everyone
class,
needs a pocket druid.
Yeah. Those not buffs. Those teleports are nice.
Ooh. Whose voice is that? Is that the memo?
Yes.
What's up, man?
Hey, Chupa. It's been a long time.
That it has.
Although you're kind of the only one I've seen like popping around in the server once in a while. I mean, Cypher's definitely.
Cypher's always there, dude.
Yeah, Cypher. Other than Cypher, but Cypher's a given.
I know what you're saying though. I'm the only cool one. That's cool. That's all right. I understand.
Right.
Shh, it's our little secret. Is Tara still on?
She is. I think she might be AFK.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there's a sand giant.
Oh, we could definitely take that on, man. Level 12? We could do it. Let's see, what are people saying? Heard a small rumor years ago, 4 a.m. the AC spawns in game time. I've heard tons and tons of rumors on how to get the ancient Cyclops to spawn so that you can get your ring off of him, so that you can get your J boots. The only thing I ever heard that works is to kill the 2 placeholders. So, you guys have anything to weigh in on that one? Do you guys have like a special technique? Is it doing like a
South Row?
Yeah, do like a rain dance or anything that works?
It's just a timing thing. It's just you just show up at 9 p.m.
and pray that the placeholder's dead and he spawns.
Yeah.
Wait, he only spawns at 9 p.m. I thought you just kill the placeholders again and again.
No, it's a timing thing nowadays, and basically you'll see all like 12 druids zone in. And it's a race. You just gotta race.
Tons of druids, tons of rangers in there too sometimes.
Yeah.
But you do gotta kill those placeholders, right?
You gotta kill some mobs. I don't know which ones they are, honestly.
It's on the wiki. It tells you exactly where they're at.
I think it despawns it at 9 p.m. and then respawns it. Because it's I think it's just a low chance. It's like a 10% chance that it'll pop. So you just gotta. That's why it's good for druids. Is that you pop in, you just port to South Row and run over there. And I actually got one about a month and a half ago.
Nice.
So my rogue has J boots on him already. So happy about that.
That's kind of a necessity for them too, right?
What's that?
I was saying how those flip sides like that because he doesn't have any yet.
Well, he doesn't have a druid. He should level his druid.
I've looted them. I just haven't done it yet.
We need to take care of that for you, sir.
Yeah, I told you I'd help you. We were gonna do that, weren't we?
Yeah.
I just forgot.
I'll be more than happy to let you turn in your ring, and I will turn in the gold.
Yeah.
And the rapier for said ring.
I bet.
I'm here for you.
Up? What is up?
Who that?
Oh, who that say they gonna beat them Saints?
Who that?
What's up, guys?
Hey man, how you been? Yeah, it's
soon to be a Broncos fan.
Oh, never will I be a Broncos fan, man.
Just wait. Just wait.
I don't care. No.
Okay. All right, you say that now.
Fair enough.
We got a second group going over here in, what are we, South Row or North Row? I think it's, North Row. If you want to come join us.
Yeah, I'm gonna come join y'all in just a second. I am just grabbing, working on picking up some of the pieces for my Enchanter Epic, and I'm grabbing the piece in down here real quick.
Nice. How close are you to finishing that one?
I need to kill Vassal and Verena. But those are the ones in Cabalus and Neriac, and they're the hardest pretty much to get.
That's the fun stuff.
Yeah. I currently have a level 1 Cleric staring at Verena spawn point, so...
That's what you need to do, yeah.
And pretty much, like, I just check on it randomly. I'm gonna end up giving up my Plane of Mischief bind and binding at Verena with Torp Shaman and a couple others, and then just rushing her after an Earthquake. And then I'll probably end up doing the same thing for Vassal. Because they're so hard to get.
What's Vassal's spawn time, though?
They're both 2 to 5 days.
Oh, I didn't realize she was, they, Vassal was that bad.
Yeah, it's rough.
But you're almost there, man.
I am. We got Prince earlier this week, so I got that knocked out, and I just have those kills left. Oh, I have the Tangerine too, but that one won't be nearly as difficult to get.
Yeah, I heard about that from Cypher, that you had, what was it, gloves or a hammer or both or something like that he's been looking for?
Yeah, the gloves dropped. Yeah. But they're the gloves that turn into the hammer.
Right, and they're going to be taken out of the game at some point, I think, with the 2.0 patch that's coming out.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's... Oh, welcome back, Cypher. I saw you went link dead, so I wasn't sure if you were still on the call.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a question from Rabbit. Hey man, love the videos you and the crew make. Makes the drive from work to and from work way better since I discovered them. I actually just started back on EQ after about 15 years on Agnar. Have you guys tried Agnar, and what are your opinions?
Ooh.
I haven't. I have no opinion to give because I haven't tried it.
I played it for a day.
It's just instancing and all the things. It's just... That's what killed EQ. I can't believe people leave here for Agnar. I can't. How do you do it?
Well, he didn't leave here for Agnar.
I know, I'm just saying, I don't know why people here have left, you know, I mean... A lot of people tried it and came back, though.
I watched a few videos that Super Bits and Bob did, and I thought it was an interesting kind of server because it had the new look. You know, it has all the new graphics for the game, and some of the zones that he was going to were ones I had never really seen the new look on. So that was kind of curious, you know, kind of interesting. At the same time, I'm very much attached to the old school graphics, very much attached to the old school mechanics. So wasn't too thrilled about some of the things they had in that one. And we were talking about this last night. One of the really big downsides I heard from watching people's videos was just the fact that you could make so much money, like actual physical money, from selling items or gems when that game first came out on that server. So you had all these people going in there trying to get Chrono by, you know, camping the biggest named, you know, the FBSS or, you know, anything that dropped something of equivalent size. And they didn't really care if you were there first. You know, like they're like, I can take it from you, so I'm going to take it from you because I'm making real money off of it. That and the no play nice policy that Daybreak Game doesn't have anymore and never really enforced, even if they had it for a while, just kind of, you know, pushed me off of it. You know, I understand there's some people out there that love that PvP mentality, but if you have that mentality for I can take it from you, so I should, I think I should be able to attack you for it, or, you know, try to duel you for it. And I don't think on those servers you were able to do that. Or maybe I'm wrong. Any of you guys play at all before for more than a day?
I've never even logged on.
Yeah, so we're probably the wrong ones to ask on that one.
I've got too much time invested here.
That's true. When you spend as much time on one server, it's kind of hard to make you want to switch over to another one. But, you know, from what I've seen, Live does this every so often. They try to freshen things up by coming up with another server that lets you start from scratch and then experience the expansions in kind of an escalated way, you know, like you're going really quickly through it, right? They're not waiting a whole year before the first expansion comes out, I believe. It's like $3 for each one, right?
I did the Finny server when it came out for a little bit, and the problem is their code though. Like the damage tables for classic is just ridiculous. Like you just murder all the things, and a pet class is just completely overpowered in classic EQ with the current damage tables.
Welcome back, Vitani.
Oh yeah, welcome back.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty invested in this community, in all my characters here. It just feels more right. Like the instancing thing. I mean, it is frustrating sometimes. I mean, now that I'm getting towards high-end rating and all that, some dumb stuff happens on this server, but I'd rather have that and have the challenge of it than just giving everything. It's just, I don't know.
For me, it feels like you'd run out of things to do a lot sooner because you can do anything you want whenever you feel like it.
Oh, honestly, I love like the thrill of getting an FT on Sev or something when there's 6 other guilds competing for it.
Right?
Yeah, that's awesome. I do enjoy it. I think this server has just has just the right everything right now. It's good.
But I have no problem with people who want to play on whatever server that makes them happy. I wish, Agnar all the best. I hope it, stays around long enough for those people who are on there and feel like that's the right place to be to get all the enjoyment that they possibly can from it. Now, I know Live create servers and destroy servers pretty quickly, so I don't know how long that one's going to be around, but, hopefully for a while.
There are times when I'd like to go. I mean, it was really fun when Lucelyn and Pop came out, and there was new content and all that. It'd be cool to check that out, just for like a one-off. But otherwise, the things that came with those expansions that kind of killed community and killed parts of the game.
They shrunk the game down so much.
Yeah, I'd rather just not
feel big.
have them. Maybe someday there'd be like a server that could add this new content, but take out the things that were obviously money driven and not community driven.
Right.
That'd be cool on a different server, or on some, when 10 years from now, when we're all still playing this, but it's getting a little dry.
I think P99 could do that. I think they, like something that they did on Everquest 2 was they had a like an heirloom thing that you could go into a portal and you could experience another time on the game. So you're basically zoning over to another server, and everything worked different, back in the day, so that you got to experience that. You got to see the same mobs that you were fighting from like Everquest 1, and you got to take back one piece of loot, right? But it wasn't something that was super amazing. It was basically in name alone. So maybe they do that for like a holiday event or something, let people go to like Plains of Power, experience the raid zones, but not really bring anything back. I think people would enjoy it. You don't think so, Cypher?
Oh no, I'm just...
I have no idea.
He thinks it's a joke. That's why he's laughing. I'm being serious. Shine my boots. Let's go.
It's not my fault. You can't watch what you're stepping.
I'm being a pain. On a serious note, what did you ask, AC?
Nothing, man. I'm looking at the chat over here. They say AOW on Agnar died like the first week of Velius, so that's the Avatar of War. That's pretty insane that you could get to that point. Rabbit says he loves the maps, definitely needs to say that. He enjoys it a lot, but he thinks the XP is too fast. That's another thing I don't really like on modern games is how fast you level. Do you guys think that it's just right on this game, or do you think that it could be even slower?
No, it's fine on this.
You can go your own pace on this one. Like, if you really wanted to go faster, I mean, there are ways to go really fast on here. But for the people that want this experience, because there's really no option. There's only fast on those ones. I feel like there's you can't really. There's no challenge. There's no inherent challenge. I feel like.
Very little risks too, so you're gonna go for the high reward stuff a lot quicker on those servers.
Yeah, I noticed that on Everquest too. Is I never really feared dying because there's really no downside to it.
If you want real challenge on this server, I mean, No Time to Res is kind of retired, but there are still people playing that rule set. You know, I mean, there's still people that want to go that hardcore. There were people that were actually doing it before that guild even came about. They were like, yeah, I was doing this, but now it's kind of cool that there's an official rule set on the server, you know, so. And I still see some people here and there that send me a tell and are like, yeah, I'm still doing this. Oh.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy for those of you who aren't familiar. Oh, go ahead.
I think Bathory, who's a cleric in Bloodguard, res.
Oh, I have no idea if he did or not. I just realized, guys, I came all the way to the 3rd floor of down here, and some other enchanter has come and picked up that scroll today.
Oh, man.
So I'm just going to camp right here tonight.
Holy crap, all these bugs.
Well, you guys wanted something to kill, so went ahead and picked up the other derp camp.
Like we're at, what was that movie? Starship Troopers, was it?
Yes.
That's a good
That's
movie.
what it feels like right now. Oh, level 15. Good EXP though, yeah.
What about you, Troop? Are you guys getting XP over there?
Someone keeps pulling all of our mobs, man. I don't know.
Oh, are we taking all y'all's?
I don't know. I'm just standing here, dude. I'm eating dinner.
Oh, okay.
Trying to heal whoever Tone Deaf is.
He is in our group at the moment.
Them paladin heals. They will break my mouse.
Okay, I have a 10 wizard, and then my next lowest is a 20 bard.
10 wizard would work.
Oh, I have a necro that is
why are we hitting
17
this guy?
maybe.
Why are we hitting this guy? Isn't he an undercon? Oh, he's dying. Oh, he's dying. He's just fine. I thought this guy was an undercon. Yeah, I've died to this guy plenty of times, at least running through here. I guess we're zerging him. The dark elf. I think he's a quest giver or something like that.
Oh yeah, I don't know where he came from. We're pulling so many mobs. I think they just kind of get jumbled up in there.
Where are you guys at?
Derf Camp 2. We got 2 different groups going on here. Cypher and Chupa are in one group, so they're looking for more members there, and hopefully we can get them some pools over here. Are you killing anything, Cypher? Are you getting experience or no?
I've been killing the undead, but not really.
Oh, okay.
I almost feel like we should zerg like Orc Highway or something with all these people.
I'm in Oasis right now.
We might be able to pull that off. You guys want to give it a shot?
Yeah.
It'd be challenging.
No,
But I feel like
I'm
we
gonna
got
die.
this area here licked.
You guys suck so bad. Oh, there we go. These dervs. They're root.
Who has the C? I need mana regen.
Was that a drive-by clarity, or do we actually have a cleric, enchanter around here?
I think we have a cleric and a wizard. I don't think we have an enchanter.
Someone gave us clarity at one point.
It wasn't me. Mine's in the bottom of down here.
Alright, I'm pulling a whole bunch of mobs to you guys, but I am not stopping.
Alright, I'll just grab one. Better hope so stays on.
Yeah. There's quite a few mobs. They're trying to dispel me, and they rooted me a couple of times, so... Oh, somebody got me with the hill. Nice.
Quite the train.
This is entire Derv Camp 3. I thought I could take it, and I probably would have been fine, except for the roots. Those roots are deadly.
Man, when we first started this, I thought we weren't even going to be able to break the camp. Like, now we're taking the whole zone on.
And we got a good group here. I think if you guys are willing, we go check out Orc Highway.
If 1999 or 2000 me saw this site going on, it would have been like the most insane thing ever. Just what we're doing here. This is this is insane.
You know, again, this is why every experience that you play in the game will be different.
Cypher, we got one. Hurry up, kill it, kill it.
I know. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. They're about to...
she stole it. She stole it.
Yep.
I'm gonna report.
It's over. It's over.
Oh, we
Nope,
got it.
we got it.
All right, we're good. We're good. It's this big old toothpick, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
All right, I guess let's go give it a shot.
All right.
Cypher. Got another one.
Yep. See it. See it. I am at 0 manas.
There's gonna be plenty of mobs over there, guys. At work.
This is gonna be interesting because they're a lot higher level.
Yeah, we might have to go over to the beach, but if we stay next to the zone line,
I just want to see all of us just rush 1 or 2 and just see what happens.
I have no mana for roots. I need water. It looks like.
I got 3 stacks if you need one, man.
Yeah, I do. Chupa's getting beat on over here.
Alright, we're going to Oasis, just so you guys know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rabbit, P99 will never have AAs or Luckland unless they do something for like a day or something. I know they have talked about adding unique content or custom content into the game, but they have specified on that one that it's not going to be anything that already existed in the game before.
This is gonna be insane.
Just don't fool anything to everybody's here. That way we don't lose anybody by accident.
Do we even explain to the non the group mates that aren't in the call just leaving?
No, I told them let's go try the Orc Highway in Oasis.
Oh, okay, perfect.
So they know we're going there, but I don't think they know what to expect if they're not familiar with the
Probably
game.
think we're insane at this point.
A little bit.
The wizard said they're loving the group though, so
I bet. She already got ding 15 while she's been here, so. Oh no, that was you.
yeah.
This shouldn't be too bad, right? She's the
Any
priestess
EXP for
What's
a
the
wizard
level range
of the group or the orcs?
of the group?
What's
the lowest and highest?
I'm probably the lowest. I'm level 13. We have a couple 15s.
Ooh. If there's nobody higher than 15, it's fine. Because I'm only 10.
Well, you'll be joining me and Chupa. I'm 10, and he's 12.
Perfect.
Oh yeah, we took those guys out easy. I think as long as we're careful, I don't think we can handle, 10 or 15 of these guys, but 1 or 2 at a time. Hey guys, and welcome to the disembodied voice of AC Gamer. We are definitely going to be doing a lot more series in the future, but here are a few of them that you guys might find interesting. Of course, you're more than welcome to check them out. I would love to hear your comments. Again, if you do enjoy these videos, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe. It's definitely the indicator that I use to tell if you guys want to see more videos like that, of that particular game style, of that series in the long run. So when you guys leave comments down, it helps me decide whether we should keep doing it, as well as whether you want to see games like that in the future. And here are a few of them right here. I kind of picked out a few of different genres. We will be doing spotlights for other YouTubers in the future. So if you want to get a little shout out, definitely let me know. If you group with me, chances are you will get a shout out in here eventually. But for now, these are just 4 series that I have that I feel like could use a little bit more attention, and that you guys might actually enjoy as well. Thanks again for watching, guys, and we will definitely catch you all next time.